Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. It is Dave. It is Weather Force. Oh my gosh, I almost said my name. You can technically still call me by my original name, but please get used to calling me by Weather Force because I have proposed a name change to Weather Force. Thought it just stood out a little bit better because some people don't get my last name correctly, and that is completely understandable. So, what's going on, everybody? Good afternoon, good evening. It is your weather host, Weather Force, here with severe weather live coverage tonight and this evening as we get ready to track some severe weather. Right now, it's currently going on across Virginia as well as portions of Texas, but it's going to get a lot more worse this evening into the overnight hours because we have a weather system that is moving into the high plains. So if you guys are new, welcome to the stream. I'm sorry I wasn't able to stream yesterday or the day before. I was just not feeling well, and I feel a whole lot better. I think what I had was decompression sickness from my trip that I was enjoying last week for the total solar eclipse. And here I am back home, and my body finally realizes I'm actually at home. So that's why I felt the way I did, and I'm glad I feel a whole lot better. And thank you guys for sending your guys' wishes of me feeling better soon, and your wishes actually help. So thank you, you all as viewers, for wishing me that. All right. But also, I want to wish you all a great weather product that I wanted to show you on my live stream. And no one on YouTube, I will promise you this right now, no one on YouTube has shown this yet. You know what it's called? Before I show you, I want you all to put it in the chat, except for Weather Republic and Butterdog, because you both know what I'm going to show. All right, but everyone else in the chat, put down your answers on what weather product I'm going to show that no one else on YouTube actually uses. You guys will probably not get it anyways, but you know, it's a little quiz. You know what I mean. But in the meantime, we do have an enhanced risk of severe weather stretching across South Dakota into Nebraska into Kansas. This is a classic high plains event for severe weather, including an eastern seaboard event as well with a bimodal severe weather event. Two separate areas to watch, primarily, again, in Virginia, and then, of course, in the high plains. This is not your typical biomodel setup. It's really only for tornadoes for the high plains, all the way from northwestern Texas in Oklahoma into Kansas and Nebraska. There is a 10 sig for tornadoes today, so keep that in mind. Strong tornadoes are a possibility today in Kansas and Nebraska. And then, of course, there is a 30% risk for damaging winds that could exceed 65 miles an hour. Again, that covers many areas in the high plains, stretches into St. Louis, Missouri, and then especially over in our friends that live in Virginia, like Direct Weather, Dylan, that lives over there, as well as a few others I can name down that live in Delaware and also for southern New Jersey. So if you are in these areas, please consider that as a big severe weather day for your area. And then, of course, the hail risk today is also significant over across the high plains. And yet again, we are doing the same thing. Actually, okay, that is part of the slight risk. I was going to say, why did they issue a marginal if there's a slight risk for hail that is significant here, right? So there's a significant risk for hail in southern Indiana and portions of, say, Kentucky, stretching into a non-sig that is for the eastern seaboard. So again, lots of action going on today from Texas all the way into the Dakotas and then back east across the eastern seaboard. Kind of that T shape. You know what it looks like too? A dolphin fin, right? It almost looks like a dolphin. Here's the dolphin's body, and then there's its back tail. I'm sure you all are going to laugh at that. Then tomorrow's risk is almost similar, only it's a little different. We still got that little whale body over portions there of West Virginia and Virginia, with the biggest risk, again, being tornadoes across the Midwest. So really kind of out west here is where we're watching the biggest concern. And then, of course, that's driven by a 10 sig for tornadoes in Iowa, northern Missouri. I would not be surprised, by the way, if this 10 sig does get extended further south into, say, St. Louis, Missouri, because what I'm about to show you really has my concern for that extension to be reliable. I might get that a little further east as well, maybe into central northern Illinois in their next day one outlook. When the day two gets updated to a day one, that is. This gets moved forward a day. There's a 15% risk for some damaging winds in this area, a non-sig for wind. That could also get up to a 30% in tomorrow's outlook, with a 30 sig for large hail as well. So big hail and tornado threat here in Missouri and Iowa for the day tomorrow because of that upper level system that is going to be sliding across the northern tier of the United States. And then let's not forget about day three. There's also a day three slight risk for severe weather with a marginal risk surrounding that. And yes, my good old friend over here, Ethan B., you know what is coming your way. Another risk for severe weather yet again. And you know, this is day three. This is a slight risk this far out. This is definitely a day to watch. They could be fitting more categorical upgrades in this. Maybe an enhanced risk in days to come leading up to that. And then there's a day four. All right, so I mean, the next 4 days going to be really active. This goes through Friday. So the end of this week, we're looking at a severe weather days coming up. All right, and then we'll see about Saturday. I think Saturday is going to also have a slight risk in it in later outlooks, but that is to be announced in future outlooks from the SPC. I don't work for the SPC, but I'll tell you what, they might go for a slight risk eventually. So now, what about the excessive rainfall outlook from the Weather Prediction Center? Well, right now, there is a marginal to slight risk for heavy rainfall today, and a marginal risk for heavy rainfall and flood concerns tomorrow. So it's not just the severe weather. Some of these storms are going to contain a lot of heavy rainfall, and that's going to lead to some flooding. Here's a look at your total rainfall accumulations over the next 3 days. And again, most of the rainfall will fall across Nebraska, southeastern portion there of South Dakota, into Iowa, where you might see 2+ inches of rainfall, with maybe about 1 inch or 2 of rainfall across the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes region. Okay, so let's see if you guys have put in your answers already. No one has put in your answers. No one. Or anything. So, I wanted to show you all what I'm adding to this YouTube channel. It is the WAFS or the WAFS model. Okay, this is basically, okay, and they finally released this. So this is a high resolution model. Excuse me here. So this is a high end definition model that gets updated every 30 minutes. So it gives us an idea when storms are going to ignite based on analysis. And this is an AI model, by the way. So this is a very high-end intelligent model that makes forecasting much more accurate. And when we look at the latest model forecasts, okay, hold on a second. Yeah, so when we look at the latest model forecast, which, by the way, this is a 10-minute increment of future radar. So you can see this is right now. So this is, it's 22:30 right now UTC time. So when we go forward in time on this model, we can see where storms are going to accurately initiate. And you know what this is right here? You want to know what this actually is? That's a hail core. That's a hail track. So this means we might see some hailers out of these storms that move on through. Pretty cool, isn't it? So we could actually see see on actually how strong these storms could actually get. And this is a storm right here that contains 70 decibels. So this is a big hail core on this system in southern Kansas. And that develops just shortly after 0Z. Okay, and we can see these storms right here really blossom, actually specifically just before 0Z. These storms really blow up. They really get going. So within the next perhaps hour or so, we'll see those storms really fire up. Now, another thing I like to look at is instability. Yeah, this has everything with it. Let's look at ML Cape. And right now, ML Cape, in this area, on this model down here, this is mixed layer, convective available potential energy. It's how much energy is in the atmosphere. And we can see right down in here, there's a little reservoir of Cape values exceeding 3,000 joules per kilogram. That's a lot of instability. And when we play this through, we can see how that instability might change with time. And right now, anything above 2,000 joules, which largely covers this area, is deemed highly unstable within this environment. Now, another factor we can see is, another thing we can bring up is convective inhibition. How much convective inhibition, which would prevent a parcel of air of rising. And it looks like much of this atmosphere here will remain somewhat capped, especially in western eastern Kansas and central and northeastern Oklahoma. We should see this atmosphere remain fairly stable through much of the evening hours before large-scale ascent encroaches. We're able to erode some of that capping inversion over much of the Kansas area. This area in particular, and this area up here, we're likely to see inhibition erode a little sooner, and that's why we see these numbers come down slightly, ever so slightly. Maybe seeing some decoupling of the atmosphere might help to increase that a little bit. But once these storms get initiated along this dry line, I think they're going to be fairly strong. And my primary hazards, my personal forecast here is, I think this area in particular, this area right in here, has the best chance of seeing a large tornado, or a strong tornado perhaps, with a 40% chance of seeing hail greater than 2 inches in diameter, and a 20% chance of seeing hail greater than 4 inches in diameter. So that would be on the giant side of things, with a 30% chance of seeing winds greater than say 75 miles an hour, with a 10% chance of seeing winds greater than 100 miles an hour, since we're going to have an inverted V sounding along that dry line where we get sufficient deep layer mixing. We get that inverted V look to the soundings. We get a lot of decape. We get some intense downdraft momentum transfer, and that leads to huge wind gusts that could emanate out from these thunderstorms, especially if these are high-based in nature, which you typically find in drier air masses. Good afternoon, Justin G. How's everything? How are you doing? It's been a while since you've been here. Just for a heads up, and for some good news for you, Justin, I don't know if this is good news or not. Really shouldn't disclose this on the live stream. But fire ant is no longer welcome in the weather community anymore. If you want to know more information about that, please contact me on Discord. If you have already known on the whole situation, then you're good. You're up to speed. What's up, Colleen Priest? How are you doing? So yeah, this is the WAFS model. This is a highly intelligent model that updates every 30 minutes. So yeah, I'm guessing you know a lot already about that, Justin G. What's up, Weather Republic?
We got a cell over in Cherry County, Nebraska. The hail core. I just want you to look at the storm real quick.
Let's see. Uh, Kilgore, Nebraska. We got, let's see, 73 decibels on that storm.
Look at the CC and velocity. Mine might look different, but
Oh gosh, yeah, huge CC drop on that. I think, let's see. That might be, might be straight line winds. It's hard to see because it is kind of far from the radar. It's not super far from the radar. Oh, you actually don't? Oh, Justin G. If you want to talk to me more about it later on, oh, ha ha ha. I would love to give you a lot of insight. Brendan, well, I'm sure would be happy to talk to you more about it. It's pretty bad. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on that storm. That's only for 1.25 inches hail though. Storm that is in Texas though looked pretty ominous further southeast, like near Schneider, Texas. There was some hail markers on that exceeded 4 inches.
yeah, I seen that earlier.
So Weather Republic, so Justin G corrected on that. Based on the CC, that's more likely the influence of hail. So sometimes hail, folks, will mess with CC. All right, so not every CC drop is necessarily.
Yeah, that was what I was saying. It was producing large hail because I got a 2-inch hail marker on it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. There's 2-inch hail on it. Yeah, and we got 2.5-inch hail on that. So yeah, those storms will be the ones to watch.
Wow.
In the short term. Let me
It
see.
looks like it's moving in a northwest direction.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's moving in that, and actually, the WAFS model does indicate that those storms. Did this even? I don't think this even updated yet. No, it didn't. So the WAFS model indicates, and I actually want to. I don't. Okay, let's SPC. I want to see what Zulu time we're actually in right now, just to.
we're at 2320Z.
Okay, yeah, so this is 2320, and so I wanted to just make sure we're at. All right, so yeah, this is 2320. So this is what we're looking at right now with those storms. And actually, that did a fair good job at indicating in relation where those storms actually are. Not too bad of a job on the there's more clustering within this line, but when we go forward, those storms do intensify once they get into. Actually, this is one model in particular. I wish they had just one solitary model. It's 2230. We're in 2330.
Storms are beginning to develop across southern Indiana. There's a special weather statement near Louisville, or south of Louisville, north of Louisville.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look at that soon. Yeah, so the WAFS member 3 model is showing that this is the best outcome on this. shows more clustering. And then storms, oh gosh, this pair of storms down here on member 3 goes crazy. Big hail core on this one within the next hour or so. So that's what the WAFS is showing. So we'll have to see on how that transpires. They should be updating this hopefully soon, though. So it's been like over an hour. It's cool that they provide this for public domain to use. Oh, and it even comes with the verification as well. That's cool. And actually, the model didn't do too bad. Did pretty good. I want to thank Brendan, known as Fancy Hippie, at telling me a lot about this. I never knew about this until he kind of brought this to my attention, like, oh, there's an WAFS model now. And it actually predicts where hail is going to fall and accumulate. Today is quite interesting. Tornado-wise, extremely low floor, very high ceiling. Yeah. And actually, we will be looking at forecast soundings. Let's go to forecast soundings on this. Let's go over to that. So what we have is, we'll use the RAP model, because SPC likes to use a RAP model anyways. So significant tornado parameter, definitely on the high end, especially after 0Z. Right in here, in this narrow corridor is where we have the highest tornado potential. In northeastern Texas, western Oklahoma Panhandle, we get numbers all the way up to a 7 on the fixed layer STP. And when we take a look at the, I don't know why this is using most unstable parcel. I don't know if there's a way to change that. This is looking at that, and we're looking at roughly mixed layer Cape 3200, MU Cape 3400. And of course, your dew point is definitely on the higher inside. So there is certainly a potential here. We could see a strong tornado given our hodograph is definitely curved with height. So we got veering winds. And then of course, we got a lot of instability to work with. Tall, intense thunderstorm. And if we do get a tornado, it would likely be more cone-shaped since our LCLs and LFCs are somewhat right around the 1 kilometer layer. But this is where we would see the best chance of a tornado. And then tornado threat could ease into the overnight hours. Actually, this is the latest model. My bad. I was using an older run. So here's the tornado threat. And this gets really high. Possibly even 7.6 on this number. And what a wild hodograph. A veered back, veered pattern, that is. And that's what we see here. A lot of cape, though, a lot of instability. And when we go into Missouri, that's for tomorrow, we also have an elevated tornado threat, with large hail being the concern as well. And given the hodographs and everything, that would certainly yield the possibility of a huge or a big hail and tornado threat. So we're going to have to keep an eye. Let's take a look at the storms now in Virginia, since we haven't really focused on that area yet. So we do have severe thunderstorms moving into Virginia Beach within the next hour or so. We got severe thunderstorms out across Jamestown. We got surface temperatures in the 70s and 80s with dew points in the mid to upper 50s. So definitely enough moisture to get severe weather going. And with the severe thunderstorm, it's mainly related to strong damaging winds as this line of storms. In fact, if we play this through, you can see those storms really firing up and moving southeastward, moving into Gloucester Point, Jamestown in Virginia, Richmond, Virginia getting hit right now, Virginia Beach, and then Exmoor getting some severe thunderstorms as well. I said Cape, Lego Train. So that's this line of storms that we're watching right now that is propagating southeastward. When you take a look at a severe thunderstorm now in Kentucky, this is just crossing into Kentucky. We have a lonely supercell that has recently materialized, and this is producing quite a bit of lightning already, and we have hail up to 1.5 inches in diameter that has 1.25 inch hail and the potential for at least 60-mile-an-hour winds on this storm. So this is definitely a severe thunderstorm. We also have another storm that is popping up in Scottsburg, in Vienna, in the Indiana area. That really has recently popped up right over the I-65 corridor. There's a new warning. All right, that's up here. Now in South Dakota. If we look at South Dakota, Parmalee, Norris, St. Francis, lots of lightning going on with these storms. And again, that's what the WAFS showed earlier, kind of a lot of this clustering. And that seems to be happening with this storm in particular that looks very strong based on reflectivity, producing hail now up to 2.25 inches in diameter. So some big hail on that. That is in the significant range. That could damage windows, siding, and trees. And that's why we're here tracking the severe weather live right now. What's up, Cody? What is it, Cody? Oh, you tried calling me? Sorry if I didn't hear it. I guess when I put my thing on Do Not Disturb, I don't hear any calls coming in, so I do apologize by that. I know you are a storm chaser. I don't know if you're chasing today. All right, let me see. I'm going to add you to the call here. Hold on, Weather Republic. Yeah, Cody, we're going to have a group session. That way I don't have to end the call with one other person. So, programmer, please answer. Cody? So, there you go. So, are you storm chasing, programmer? I'll add, yeah, add Ethan. Okay, you're under a shelter though. How's that storm chasing? Oh wait, you're moving. Oh, all right. We got a storm chaser. Let's tune in live. If you could turn your phone sideways so it has full screen because it's narrow screen. There we go. All right, let me see if I can bring this up. Perfect. We got it. So we are tuning in right now live to Cody. Oh, you want to join too, Justin? Justin Dustin. All right, so he is out. Where are you at right now, Cody? What is it again? Winfield, Kansas? Okay, let me see. All right, so Winfield, Kansas, you are in. So let me see what the risk is for your area. Okay, yeah, so you're in the slight risk, so you're in a perfect area. If you want to head west towards Pratt and Dodge City, that's where the enhanced is. That's the WAFs do indicate storms could initiate along the I-54 state Highway 54 near Ashland and Greensburg, right around 2330, 2345Z in that area. Your image is really funny. It's like the polarity on it, like the color. When I mean polarity, I mean like it's like all reversed. It's just there we go. Now there it works. Now it's perfect. So we got a storm chaser in Winfield right now in Kansas. A lot of low-level cloud cover there, which means there's a lot of moisture. There's instability. That means there's instability coming. The cap is there though. There's a cap involved. But where that dry line is, where I think storms will fire. Um. Oh, so where are you gonna head? Okay, you're on 160. You're on 160. You're on 160. Okay, so you're heading west on 160 right now. Okay, yeah. So if you head west on 160, you'll be perfect. You can even go to Medicine Lodge. I know that might seem really far. And then if you get into cold water, is where I think storms might be able to initiate. That's what the WAFs are indicating. Let me see what the latest run is showing. Okay, we got a new run out, Weather Republic. This is currently rendering as we speak, so we won't know yet what it's going to show. Okay, I did not know. I said I'd join like past tense. I joined, but I was not sure. I added you, Justin Dustin. And okay, we lost signal. Oh, there we go. We're back. We're back. We're good. We're good. So he's going west on 160 right now towards Oxnard and as well as Medicine Lodge in Kansas. He's going to try to get ahead and before these storms are able to initialize right along that dry line. Hey, Justin. Dude, today is looking interesting as you were mentioning, and I can see why that is. Conditional for strong tornadoes.
Set up. I think that model guidance has been unbelievably, potentially record-breakingly bad for this event. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But it's a very conditional but potentially volatile setup, I'd say.
Yeah, primarily in southwestern Oklahoma. Justin, STP values. Okay, this is the fixed layer. 7 greater than 7.
Right. Yeah. I think that's going to be, again, I don't disagree that the environment will be there for that. My question is, will we get convective initiation into that environment?
Yeah. So since
Jay.
since you are here, because I know you're in SoCal, and I went through SoCal because I went to see the solar eclipse, and I thought, man, my aunt lives down in SoCal, and I'm passing right by where Justin lives, But what did you think about this year's California winter?
Well, I mean, I don't. It's continuing. Yeah, I don't know. It's getting quite ridiculous at this point, to say the least.
Yeah, and it's good that we got. Oh my gosh! Why is my soundboard? Hold on. Why is my soundboard going off? Where it disconnects me from audio. You guys can talk still. It's just that it cuts out. Why is it doing this again? I love my computer sometimes. Which, by the way, my bed over on my right side will be taken out of this room by Sunday next week. So this whole room will literally be turned into an office. It literally will be. It will be just, yeah. So,
yeah. David, I'm not sure if you're aware, but are you aware of the model performance today and just how bad models have been today?
I have not been aware because, number one, I got very sick this weekend. At first, it started off as a stomach ache, then went towards a migraine headache. So when one symptom would depart, the next symptom would fill in behind it. So virtually, I felt terrible this weekend.
Like a zombie.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Weather
So I'm
Republic.
gonna send something.
Weather Republic.
It's mainly been the HRRR.
Okay,
Go
it
ahead.
has. Yeah, but Weather Republic was there for it, and I truly sounded like a zombie. I felt terrible. Which is unfortunate because I missed out on a good big rainstorm yesterday. Actually, not yesterday, but the day before. We got almost 2 inches of rain up here. We just got slapped.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so take a look at the HRRR 12Z's moisture projection for 23Z, which is right now, and then look at RTMA observations.
Let me see this. So, dew point.
HRRR is just blah. I mean, wasn't it just last week, moderate risk over in Kentucky and Ohio, where it had me and Ethan B thought it was going to be a high risk. Well, push come to shove, the next day we didn't get anything.
Right? Yeah.
RTMA. Okay, let me see if I can.
Well, I sent it in the chat. You can just take a look there. Look at the two differences.
Let me see. Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, HRRR. Okay, HRRR. I love you, but I don't love you sometimes. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, so you want to know what's funny? So I did rely on the HRRR, right? For the solar eclipse, it literally had us not having any low-level cloud cover in Kerrville that morning of the eclipse, right? So I get to Kerrville waiting for the eclipse, and guess what? Guess what we have up there, Justin?
Clouds.
lots of low clouds. It was drizzling, but only that dew points were in the upper 60s and temperatures were in the low 70s. It was muggy, it was warm, and it was kind of foggy. Not like your typical California fog at all. And then the afternoon, it started raining with big raindrops. It was just the weirdest weather, and the HRRR did pretty terrible at it.
Right. Yeah. The HRRR has consistently, along with pretty much all the other cams, by the way, has consistently shown the moisture depth being very like shallow today. Turns out, I mean, it's still pretty shallow, but it is much deeper than the HRRR and the other guidance had. The dry line is also significantly further west. That's one thing that I was noticing. It's almost as far west as like Amarillo. And
Wow.
they're well west of even the general thunderstorm risk. So, to say the least, models have not been doing so well today. But we will see if they can get better. But I think at this point, it's a matter of nowcasting. The thing is, I'm not totally certain. The only thing I do kind of trust them on is the lack of convection in Oklahoma. I'm not totally sure we're going to get convective initiation, just given how stout the inversion is and how modest the forcing is. But if we do,
Definitely less than what we thought we were going to get.
yeah, if we do, could be interesting.
Also, one model I would highly recommend checking out. Let me send you a link to this. Hold on. I would highly recommend checking this out for the people that are in this call, is the WAFS model.
Oh, yeah, I use them all the time.
Yeah. Look at what it wants for that southern Oklahoma on some of the members. It wants like this cluster freak of big supercells on some of the members.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that? I mean, that's crazy. And I think
Right.
that is a good, and that's why we have programmer, which is Cody. He's on his way on 160 West to that area, so he could get those storms if they do end up developing. He's already ahead of the pack on that. Let's see, though, if we're able to bring up radar in that area. We don't have any storms yet. But I'll tell you this, Justin, you want to know how sharp this dry line is?
Oh, yeah, it's insane.
Dodge City, 56-degree dew point. You don't have to go very far west to have dew points between -10 and like 1 or 2 degrees above zero.
Crazy.
Yeah. Very, very sharp dry line.
Hey, David, we wait Oxford right now. We can pull off to the gas station.
Oh, you're in Oxford. Okay.
Yeah, we're pulling in to get gas right now, and we will hit back the road again.
Sweet.
Casey's.
Because
So
we have-
David, just FYI with regard to WAFs, I wouldn't use them much pre-convective initiation. That's something actually Lightman touched upon on Twitter.
Oh, really?
They're much better utilized after convective initiation.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Actually, I did not know that. Thank you for that. That's why, honestly, no offense, Justin. You there?
Uh-huh.
Okay. No offense. That's why we have to call Justin G the SPC forecaster. Because literally,
Not one.
I know you're not. But you know a lot of the ins and outs of the SPC, and that's what we all like you about, you and Sheriff Boy, which, by the way, I have not heard from Sheriff Boy in like a while.
You and me both.
In fact, I went to Weather Republic 2 days ago. I'm like, man, I need to contact Sheriff Boy. And
I got a hold of him a while ago, but it was back in March.
I have not talked to the guy in, easily 6 months.
Does he
Jeez.
still have the storm analysis team going, or?
Eh. I mean, that same group of people still forecast, just not for that server.
Which, by the way, now, going back to the WAFs, oh my goodness. Member 3, Justin, wants 2 to 3 inch hail tracks on this. On Member 3. In southern Kansas.
Our storm out in South Dakota has now got ping pong ball size hail.
I see that, and it has 2.25 inch hail marker on it. So that has some big time hail on it. Still waiting for the 3-inch hail markers and reports to come out, though. They did mention significant SIG for hail today. Which, again, I am very surprised today did not go moderate in some sense.
I'm not.
I
Mainly,
definitely think it should have only been a slight now. I changed my forecast over to a slight.
well, I think the main thing that makes me not totally shocked that it stayed enhanced is just how terrible this convective signal is. I mean, like, genuinely, some cams just don't have convection, except for South Dakota. Like, they don't have convection anywhere. So, like, it's a pretty bad convective signal, but the environment is definitely there if something can get rooted for, I mean, up to very, very, very intense tornadoes.
What are your
Severe
thoughts?
Thunderstorm warning in Texas.
What? Oh yeah, what are your thoughts about tomorrow? Some people on Discord that I've talked to have a better confidence about tomorrow looking more significant.
Well, I think tomorrow is definitely more of a lock. I think tomorrow you're guaranteed to get storms. Today is can you get storms? The environment today is 100% more extreme than the environment tomorrow. However, I would say tomorrow probably is a bigger tornado day than today.
Okay, that makes perfect sense because, I mean, a lot of forcing for ascent tomorrow, that moisture coming together. Which, by the way, I pulled a sounding today in westernmost Kansas. You would not believe what the mid-level lapse rate is. You want to guess how steep it is, Justin?
I mean, probably in the 8s or 9s.
Nope. 10.1 degrees Celsius.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm not kidding. One little area of western Kansas. Just one little area. I don't even know
Is that behind the dry line, though?
That is within the dry line, but that just goes to show you just how steep those lapse rates are. In fact,
Yeah,
if I can go to College Due page C, if I can still be able to bring it up, even if it's not a current model run anymore.
Just an update, Ethan B will be tuning in shortly.
Yay!
Yay.
But, I mean, just to keep the expectations in the comments, level-headed, today is a low floor, high ceiling type day where there genuinely could be as low as just like 1 or 2 storms that produce some hail to as high as a storm gets rooted and produces a violent tornado. So the the range of potential outcomes today is extremely broad. So just keep that in mind. If nothing happens, frankly, we got lucky, and that's super possible. And if something very bad happens, also very possible. That wouldn't be good, but just to keep the expectations leveled.
All right, there's a sounding I sent in the chat. Look at how steep those lapse rates are.
That's crazy. Well, that's
Well,
behind the dry line, so that makes sense.
yeah, but I have not seen lapse rates that steep behind a dry line. Maybe like 9.4, 9.5, which, by the way, I believe the dry adiabatic lapse rate is at 9.6, is the steepest it can get. is, low level lapse rate might be a little more is a little more steeper just because how the skew works like that. But like, I mean, mid level lapse rate, Justin, 9.9 to 10.1 degrees Celsius.
Crazy.
It's okay. It's behind the dry line, but still, that is steep. That is very steep.
Right, yeah.
Hello.
Second chaser on.
Okay, who is this Alex?
Oh, sorry, my bad. Wrong way.
Oh, he's in a car.
Oh, we got another storm chaser.
Hey, he's with me.
All right, you gotta turn your camera the other way because it's narrow screen. Alex, you gotta turn. Yeah, there. Nope, the other way. You had it right. You had it right.
Hold on one second, he will fix it.
All right, so let's take a look at radar for a while here. So we got two strong supercells that are moving into Quana in Chillicothe in Texas. Come on, I've been in Texas and I still don't know all the names. Both of these storms have 1.5 inch or greater hail. One to the north has 2-inch hail and 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And echo tops on that storm are in excess of 50,000 feet. So definitely feeding off some high instability down there. And
Oh,
Ethan,
that
King
hello.
is
is
here.
Ethan, severe weather specialist. Welcome.
And chaser.
Hey, Ethan.
He does not want to talk.
No, his mic. It's a mic thing.
Oh.
One thing I will say is the cumulus field down in southwest Kansas into the Texas Panhandle is definitely increasing in prominence. So wouldn't be surprised to see storms popping sooner than later.
You know what? Let me actually look at satellite in that area, too.
Ethan
said-
B usually gives me the heads up when storms are heading into my area, so whenever he gets a storm that's moving into my area, I usually get a lead time for it to get set up.
So you said southwestern Texas?
Southwestern Kansas.
Oh, southwestern Kansas.
Right. There's just like a mesoscale floater over that area right now. You can probably look at it. It's still pretty shallow, but it's definitely increasing.
Oh, I do see that. Geez, look at all the dust coming off of New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that is a strong system.
And yes, I do like to provide timely information. Good evening, everyone.
Hello, Ethan. Long time no talk.
It's been a while. Well,
Oh, it's been a while.
it's been a while since Justin and Ethan talked, but it hasn't been all that long since me and Ethan talked.
For me.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Weather Republic, good to see you. David, Justin, and everyone else in
Nice
here
to
as well.
see you.
So we have two storm chasers out on the field. We will be showing those periodically through the stream. But most importantly, Ethan, I wanted to share something with you. Guess how steep the lapse rates are in western Kansas right now?
Extremely steep, almost dry adiabatic.
No, they're more than dry adiabatic. As steep as 10.1 degrees Celsius.
Which layer is this?
This is from the surface
Oh, I see.
of mid-level lapse rates, yes.
We've got a situation here where we have very steep lapse rates in the mid-levels. Again, correlating that to a very steep decrease in temperatures aloft. So that increases the instability. And it is very pronounced as you get off of the Rockies into the Central Plains. So we're going to be dealing with a scenario here where we do have very steep lapse rates.
One question I do have for you, Ethan, is something I was noting is that the dry line is definitely positioned much further west than anybody has really expected, including the SPC. You can actually see it just to the east of Amarillo. Given that it's so far west, is it probable that we're going to be getting convective initiation earlier, or is convective initiation more likely because there will be a stronger overlap of forcing mechanisms?
I do think that we're probably going to be seeing that more pronounced in the next couple hours instead of a more term. We're going to have some initiation near term, and we have seen some already, but it looks like the gradient along that dry line is going to be strengthening as it progresses through the evening. Being further west, it does have some more of that upper level support, but not necessarily. If I check the dew points here, I can confirm that. In general, not necessarily as great of dew points as areas further to the east. So what we really are going to be seeing is that gradient tightening and the lift strengthening as we head into the evening, coupled with the upper level support, which will help to erode the capping as well. So that makes the larger scale convective initiation signal the next few hours instead of more of a current or near term thing. For most areas, we do still have some isolated severe storms.
Right.
So, what are your thoughts about the strong tornado threat today, Ethan? The SPC did highlight a 10 sig for tornadoes, which I told Justin this earlier that I'm still a little bit surprised, me personally, that it didn't go moderate, because this was the day, Ethan, that this was a 30% risk for severe weather. I mean, it was like day 6, then day 5, then day 4. They had good confidence that far out that there's a 30% risk for severe weather, and yet they kept it enhanced of this current day. And I know that doesn't mean that, oh, we're going to have a moderate or high event, but you would think if they have that much confidence that far out, they might have an additional categorical upgrade into at least a moderate the day of the event, which they have not done yet.
Probably because of
Right.
model guidance. It looked a lot better a few days out, but today it's not looking as impressive. Kind of the same deal that we had with, and Ethan Beal knows this one, April 2nd, where they issued a moderate risk out in Kentucky and Ohio on day 2, which I think was a bust, where the models had shown us our dew points going well into the 60s, almost 70, and that did not happen. So it's just model guidance flip-flopping around.
Oh, it is, absolutely. And as we well know, and April 2nd is a good example of that, things do change, especially in the short term on a mesoscale. Things can change quickly because differences in boundary placement, effective overturning, moisture quality, that can all affect the instability and where the lifting is occurring. And on a large scale, too, we get consistencies in the synoptic scale signal ahead of time, and that warrants these extended risk probabilities, like, a day 6 30%. But, as the event comes closer, they will refine those details, and they may upgrade it if they see the ingredients really coming together, or they might not, as you had noted, David. And in this case, I think that we've got some significant ingredients involved, but there's concern, and especially initially, about coverage, because you can see right
Absolutely.
now we don't have very many storms. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Justin.
No, you go ahead. I was just agreeing.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, coverage is a big concern right now. That's kind of precluding some of these higher probabilities. We've got very steep lapse rates, which means we've got a pronounced EML. But the problem with an EML is that it introduces a capping inversion a lot of times, which is good in certain circumstances, but in this case, given the weak lifting along the dry line at the moment, the weak moisture convergence we have going on right now, that's kind of minimizing areas where convection can really get to that LFC height and grow into severe storms. We'll probably see that get a little bit better tonight, especially over Kansas, Nebraska. That's where the enhanced risk has been highlighted, and could be further south too, depending on how convergence goes. Once we head into the nighttime hours in these areas, the capping is going to, with westward extent, probably start to diminish a little bit. That has been shown in forecast QTs. So we get diminishing convective inhibition. We've got a strengthening dryline circulation, because now we're getting more forcing along it. And we've still got the upper level support coming in. So we will see more widespread convection tonight, probably. That's why we've got the enhanced risk out. But given the concerns about storm coverage and where storms do or do not reach that cap, that is probably a big reason why we've kept the severe weather probabilities as they are right now.
That makes pretty good sense. It's just interesting, Ethan, how when you introduce an EML, you always seem to have a cap with it.
It is, but that's part of that differential advection regime that creates robust instability, which we see right now. Surface-based CAPE is quite high, even where the inhibition is strong. But that does, especially if you got really dynamic systems, set the stage for significant severe weather in the plains a lot of times, because you've got very steep lapse rates aloft, you've got dry air aloft. Meanwhile, in the boundary layer, things are a lot better with the moisture quality, and that creates a situation where you can get really large potential energy. All you have to do then, break that cap, erode that layer of inhibition, and in dynamic situations, it's done pretty easily through moisture advection, through height falls, through mesoscale lifting, or things like that. But in this case, you know, if it were more dynamic, we'd probably be dealing with more widespread supercells, but at this point, we don't quite have that.
Right. Also to note is in the longer range, as is usual with 2024, I guess, the event looked significantly different, I'd say. Mesoscale wise, it's been pretty similar, but synoptically, it's definitely slowed down, which introduces those forcing and lifting mechanisms later at night, and also keeps them a little bit further displaced from the actual warm sector. So that's probably a reason that convective coverage factor has gone down, probably in confidence from day 6 to now day 1.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I was noting too. I was almost ready to kind of take over there, but like you answered the question there. That yeah, this system has indeed slowed down in model runs. And even people in the Thunderbite server even took note of that last night and the night before that.
There's something in South Dakota. It might be an overlapping, because my hail markers are just green triangles, but there's like 4 triangles stacked, which is probably 2 or 3 inch hail.
Jeez. I did want to say, though, Ethan, the Cape over central Kansas and western Oklahoma is between 3,000 to almost 4,000 joules per kilogram.
Oh yeah, those steep lapse rates aloft are really amplifying the instability. It's just that it can't necessarily be used right now.
Hey, what you can do, we have to go to Old Valley to pick up a new gas cap.
What is it?
We have to stop at Valley's to get a gas cap.
Gas can?
Gas cap. Like, you put gas in the cap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I rolled off without it on.
Cumulus field is definitely increasing in intensity. Interesting to see.
Yeah, see that, Ethan, over southwestern Kansas? That cumulus field really increasing rapidly.
Yes, I do. That's going to be one of the things we're going to have to learn in the coming hour.
So this is, you're tuning in live right now with programmer LSPD, or known as Cody, that supports me well on Weather Force, on YouTube here. He is on State Route 162. He's headed west. He left Oxford short while ago. He is on his way now to at least in a better position to get some supercells, at least when he gets because he's on the 60 right now. He's on the 160. Well, that 160 actually, yeah, he's gonna then have to shunt southward briefly and then go to. Oh no, he's in Winfield. He was in Winfield. He started in Winfield, Oxford, and now he's okay. So yeah, if he gets towards Medicine Lodge, that might be a better area to get some storms. We'll have to watch. That's where the cumulus field is beginning to deepen a little bit. So I think that could be your target area, Medicine Lodge in Kansas.
Track watching game.
Ethan, one thing I was also wondering is, I mean, I don't doubt that there's going to be convective initiation tonight in Oklahoma, but what I do doubt is the surface thermodynamic environment. There's definitely going to be an increase in the low-level inversion present. So are storms really going to be able to kind of root tonight, or are we just going to see some elevated hailers, I guess?
Yeah, that's a good thing to point out too, especially with southward extent. That inversion is going to remain quite pronounced, and that's seeming to be displaced from some of the better upper level support. Also, we're currently seeing, based on the latest Mesoanalysis, the height falls are most pronounced over the Central Rockies, so that's going to be advecting into Kansas, Nebraska. Once you get toward Oklahoma and Texas tonight, it becomes a lot less certain. And because the inversion is likely still going to be quite strong or even strengthened, as you mentioned, it could end up being primarily a hail threat down in Oklahoma and Texas. That's why further north into Kansas, Nebraska areas, that's probably one of the reasons why we've seen the tornado threat in a relative maximum up there.
And actually, Ethan, since you're here, you want to do a mesoanalysis briefing on what we are looking at this evening into the overnight hours? Why did the SPC issue their enhanced risk? So if you want to do a mesoanalysis via the Storm Prediction Center mesoanalysis page, you are more than happy to do that. You there?
I don't know what size hail
Yeah.
that is. I'm having trouble finding my scale.
I don't know if you, I could barely hear you there, Ethan. Maybe your mic cut out for a second. All right.
You hear me now?
I could hear you now. All right. Because I need to actually get a sip of water. But before you start, though, anyone... Okay, it's loading on my end. Why is it loading on... Okay, hold on. Give it time. There we go. Now it works. All right, before you start, Ethan, just a general reminder, if you guys are new to Weather Force, in other words, it's David Schlotthauer YouTube channel, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button, and sharing this video with or live stream with your family and friends on social media. As always, we're here providing the best severe weather coverage that we can possible with the best to our knowledge. All right, I'll get a sip of water. I'll be right back.
Okay, while David's doing that, we're going to look at some of the environmental ingredients that are coming together to support this. And if anyone else wants to add anything in, just jump on in and say what's on your mind here. But first of all, we're going to be noting this significant upper level trough that's over in the western U.S. coming into the Central Rockies. You can see that on the left side of the screen here. And to the south of that, a really pronounced mid-level jet is coming into the southern and central plains. This is where we've got some of these disturbances within the trough revolving around the southern end, increasing that height gradient, the temperature gradient aloft, amplifying the winds, and increasing the dynamics for a stronger storm system. Now, as that's ejecting into the plains tonight and this evening, we're going to be seeing some lifting take place mainly in that square area on a large scale. So, Central Plains area, that's where things look like they're going most. And we're going to zoom in here actually to a smaller scale. So we can get a look at the environment here. We're looking at the Central Plains, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado. And first of all, because the system is coming out into the plains and introducing some more dynamics, we are seeing a pretty good surface low developing over the eastern parts of the western parts of Nebraska, I should say. Right there where that L is, if you can see that, that is where the location of a 990 millibar surface low is. Now that's pretty strong. And as we head further to the south here, you can see that pressure tongue. That's where we got some frontal convergence taking place down there. To the south of that, we've got a dry line that is extending into the parts of the Texas Panhandle, far western Kansas. Very steep lapse rates involved. Also, you note a very strong pressure gradient on the backside as this system is coming out. A cold front is going to be developing from this as well. But because we've got these pressure falls, we do have some moisture transport coming in. Surface dew points right now, based on this estimate, immense in most areas, but in the southern plains, we are seeing some greater values. Surface dew points in the mid 60s, maybe upper 60s in the parts of Texas, although some inhibition does remain. That capping that we've been talking about here in a second. Because of the advection off of the mid-level, or off of the Central Rockies, I should say, we've got mid-level lapse rates that are quite steep. Look at this. 8 to 9.5 degrees Celsius per kilometer in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. That's characteristic of an EML, that's the elevated mixed layer, and that is creating an environment where we've got a lot of instability, especially given that surface moisture, which we just mentioned a little bit ago. So if we look at a mixed layer surface dew point, this is one, or cape, I should say. I am getting my words mixed up this evening. This is one of the measures of instability we look at. Mixed layer cape is quite large across a pretty broad area of the plains, down into parts of northern Oklahoma right now. We've got mixed layer cape of 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram. Also some higher values down here into Texas as well, but we do have some capping concerns as we head further to the east. You will note these blue areas right here. You see over central and eastern Oklahoma, parts of Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas. This is where we've got convective inhibition. And this is, CAPE is energy for thunderstorms. Think of convective inhibition as the energy resisting thunderstorm development. So the more inhibition we have, the harder it is for storms to get going. And as we play this forward into the evening, we're going to go 4 hours from now. Oops, when that loads here. Let me try 6 hours out. My computer's quite slow.
That was a 3-inch hail marker there.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah,
back, by the
hail's going to be
way.
a big
10
threat
minutes
today.
later, probably, yeah, it's shrunk now. Nope, it's still going.
Mixed layer cape this evening as we head 4 to 6 hours from now. So we're going to be looking into the early overnight hours. We're seeing mixed layer cape still quite large, 2,000 to 2,500 joules over parts of central Nebraska into Kansas and even western parts of Oklahoma. And notice that the inhibition has decreased in these areas. That's where we're getting that dry line lifting taking place a little more sharply. We've got the upper level support coming in to erode that capping gradually. So this makes it seem more probable that we get more widespread severe weather development into Kansas and Nebraska, maybe parts of Oklahoma as well, but once you get to Oklahoma and Texas, it does become a little more uncertain. When it comes to the wind shear, this is the effective bulk shear. This is one measure of wind shear that we look at. It's not a comprehensive view of how the wind is changing with height, but it does give us an idea that we do have, because of that ejecting upper level system, mid-level lapse rates that are, or I'm sorry, I am mixing up my words today, man. Shear, effective bulk shear values that are about 45 to 55, maybe 60 knots, getting stronger further south, but again, convective coverage becomes a lot less certain as we head southward this evening. You can see Kansas into parts of Nebraska, we do have some wind shear, and interestingly, one of the components that we're looking at that is probably a big driver for this 10% hatch tornado threat is the amplification of the low-level wind profile. This is the 850 millibar jet. This is approximated as the height of the low-level jet in the atmosphere, which is very important for increasing the wind shear. And 4 hours from now, we see values that are going up to 50 to 55 knots. That's quite strong. But it gets even higher as we head through the evening, almost 60 knots in parts of the Central Plains, especially Kansas and Oklahoma. So that's going to be really amplifying the low-level wind shear profile, and that leads to stronger or higher amounts of storm relative helicity. This is basically that propensity for spin to develop in the atmosphere over a certain layer. And where we've got higher values, you typically have a better potential for spin, although that's not all the factors to consider. And we see here values quite strong, 300 to 400 meters square per second squared into Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma this evening. So, given that overlap, and looking at a very simple, I'm going to use this actually, looking at a very simple composite parameter, this is the effective layer STP, significant tornado parameter. Theoretically, where we have higher values of this, we should have a better chance of tornadoes, although it doesn't quite always work out that way. But it does give us an idea of the environmental overlap we're seeing, and we see some pretty high values. But again, it is a little more spotty in areas because we're trying to find a balance, storms are trying to find a balance between where the inhibition is strong and where it's not strong, where you've got sufficient lifting, where the moisture's better, where the wind shear and the deep layer is better even. So the summary of all this is that we do have severe weather likely in the Central Plains tonight, and some of it will likely be significant, especially in the hail department. Could have a tornado threat too, although the tornado threat is a bit complicated by, number one, inhibition, and number two, questions about low-level moisture quality. Even once you get into the 850 millibar to 700 millibar layer, the air does tend to dry out pretty quickly, so that could be a detrimental factor, but because of that low-level jet ramp-up and the instability in place, the SVC has left open that potential, especially, and I'm going to change my map over here.
Yeah, I think
you
your
can see this a little
stream,
better.
your stream,
Real quickly,
it froze on my end.
now,
Yeah, it
there's
did.
a severe thunderstorm warning going into Oklahoma. It's got a 2 to 3 inch hail marker, and it's warned for golf ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts.
Yeah, Ethan, thank you for the weather briefing. You did really good on that. But yeah, we gotta keep an eye on this storm. 1.75 to 3-inch hail on this already.
It is for southwestern Jackson, northwestern Walbarger, and southeastern Hardeman counties. I hope I pronounced those right. And it's an observed hail tag. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, big hail on this one. And let's see what the echo tops are like. Oh yeah, Ethan, echo tops on this storm. Echo tops on this almost 55,000 feet.
Are you using the FDR radar?
I'm using the Frederick radar.
I am.
FDR is showing a high echo. It's got some purple on there too on the reflectivity. Just a little bit of pink.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah, 55,000 foot echo tops, Ethan, on this storm that has the biggest hail.
Yeah, and we just got a severe thunderstorm warning extension on that. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning, mainly in Oklahoma, but some counties in Texas too. Jackson County in southwest Oklahoma, southwestern Kiowa County in southwest Oklahoma, southeastern Greer County in Oklahoma. Heading into Texas counties, we've got northwestern Wilbarger County and east central Hardeman County. This is a observed severe storm. We've got some golf ball size hail recently, and this is moving northeast at 65 miles per hour.
Jeez, that is moving fast.
Friendship, Blair.
It's now down to quarter-sized hail, and it's
all right,
no
folks.
longer
I'll be
observed.
returning if things get a little more active.
All right, later.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
for being
60
here.
mile per hour winds, and I don't know why they downgraded this warning, honestly. I mean,
But in the meantime, we got more activity
Yeah,
going on across
we-
Nebraska.
Okay, let me switch my radar
still
up
got
there.
that 3 inch.
But
It's a little lower now, the hail marker. Oh, hang on, I screenshotted it so I'd remember that.
also,
it's
chat, we
now
are paying
1 to
attention
2
to
inches.
you. I want to say, Emily WX, yes, the moist layer is quite shallow. That has been something we've been watching pretty closely in this event, and that is a good factor in that it does tend to mitigate the tornado threat to some extent. It does tend to limit that instability layer, but we do still have some instability to work with.
Yeah. And the WAFS, the latest WAFS, they're running multiple runs on the WAFS right now. And it still shows that these storms down here in southwestern Kansas could develop in the next 1 to 3 hours. And these storms, Ethan, could be capable of producing 2 to 3 inch, maybe 4-inch hailstones.
Even with the low-level wind shear not quite up to speed yet, that sets the stage for mid-level shear to be stronger, and that can lead to some very big hail development.
That's according to the WAFS model. I sent a link in the Discord, Ethan, the WAFS model in the Discord. Oh yeah, you can click on that. That update, it's a artificial intelligent model that predicts where and when storms will develop and where they're gonna move. It's really cool.
There been any tornado possible warnings yet? I've not seen any.
I haven't seen any.
We probably haven't had any. I can look at this one. No, there's a. It's only half dollar size hail. I'm gonna go back to that one, Texas. There's one. It's
Okay,
just a
also-
rogue supersonic Kentucky.
Safe Hill.
We've got. I'm sorry.
We are Welton right now. Where we need to head to right now?
Oh, you're in. Where are you at, Wilton?
Welton.
Oh, Willington. Oh, you're in Willington. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, just continue west, I would say. Just continue west, and you'll come into Harper. And once you come into right after you get past Harper, you're going to want to make a left on 160 to go south. And then shortly after that, there will be another sign pointing to 160, and you would want to turn right. And that will take you through Attica, Kansas.
Okay.
David with his good navigation skills.
I use them on my way to Texas. So
I use navigation all the time. Sometimes I don't even need it.
nice. Now, speaking of now,
Okay,
well,
I do want to bring up some things.
Oh, Ethan, I wanted to just tell you the dry line is so pronounced, it's even showing up on the Dodge City radar site.
Where's Dodge
Yeah,
City
that's
at?
part of what I was want to bring up here. We've got in the chat, DTX Aviation says, number one, we've got Greer and Kiowa counties added to the watch down in Texas, Oklahoma. But also, Amerto 402 says new mesoscale discussion. I don't know if you checked that out, David, but I believe that's number 448.
Yeah,
I'll check it real quick. Is it 448?
Yes.
All right, this is for parts of western and central Kansas into south central Nebraska. concerning the severe potential, watch likely, valid 160013.
You all there?
I am.
Oh, okay. Got really
Whether
quiet.
Atomic mic is muted.
Oh, that's probably what it is. I could read the Meso discussion. Alright, so let's look at the latest Meso discussion for Kansas. Alright, let's just see what it says. Alright, so probability of watch assurance, Ethan, take note of that. 80%. Rapid, okay, I want to point this out. Rapid thunderstorm and intensification appears probable at some point this evening. Most likely by 10 p.m. midnight. Well, 10 p.m. to midnight. But perhaps an hour or two earlier. Once storms form, a few supercells are likely posing a risk for large hail and tornadoes, a couple of which could become strong. Trends are closely being monitored for a watch assurance, which seems likely at some point, though timing remains a bit unclear. All right, so let me switch this over. Discussion. A significant mid-level trough and embedded low are in the process of overspreading the southern Rockies, with the leading edge of stronger mid-level height falls beginning to impact the high plains from Texas Panhandle through the Black Hills vicinity. An intensifying southwesterly mid-level flow in excess of 90 knots, Ethan, at around 500 millibars, noses across the Texas Panhandle vicinity through 04 Zulu time. Strengthening mid-upper forcing for ascent likely will increasingly interact with a retreating dry line across western Kansas, as boundary layer moisture characterized by dew points increasing to as high as the lower to mid 60s advex westward beneath steepening lapse rates by cooling aloft. Forecast sounding suggests mixed layer cape may increase to an excess of 2,000 joules per kilogram within at least a narrow corridor. By mid to late evening, it appears that this will roughly become focused along an axis from near Dodge City, Kansas, that's for you, Cody, Kansas, into areas west of Kearney, Nebraska. Some increase in high-based convective development is already evident to the west of the dry line across the Texas Panhandle into western Kansas. While guidance has generally been suggestive that more substantive convective development and thunderstorm initiation may not commence until closer to 03 to 05Z timeframe, it is not certain that this will not occur sooner. Of primary concern, once storms initiate, intensification may be rapid, Ethan, and include at least one or two supercells with the potential to produce strong tornadoes. As boundary layer moistening and destabilization coincide with enlarging clockwise curved hodographs beneath southerly 850 millibar, strengthening in excess of 50 knots.
Gee whiz.
Yeah. Rapid once it gets going, Ethan.
Yeah, my page just loaded back in and I'm trying to over here to the chat, but yeah, I mean that's talking about an environment that is conducive to rapid supercell development, and some of these could be intense, and we're talking about big hail and maybe a strong tornado threat as well. That is
I'm
of
back.
a considerable concern when you get these supercells going in this kind of environment.
Just found out our school has bed bugs.
That sucks a lot.
Yeah. So is the Meso discussion already read?
Is Meso discussion read?
Yeah, David read it.
Yeah, I read it.
Alright.
I wanted to also say, Ethan, the dew point, okay, the dew point drops from 60 degrees down to 0 degrees within just 2 or 3 miles, according to Weather Underground, some of the weather station observations.
Yeah, as we head into the evening, this dry line is becoming sharper, and as we get that lifting take place more forward, that makes basically noted. And we were talking about just a little bit ago, those height falls that are edging out into the central plains. That's going to really help that initiation get going as well, at least in these hypercells and perhaps later upscale growth into clusters. But initially, certainly some supercells, and that is along that dry line, an area of significant interest we have here in the next few hours.
And Garden City is right kind of where that dry line is positioned based on radar. And look at the radar return, Ethan. Look at why. And so why is this happening? Why does radar think it's raining when it's actually not and it's just a dry line? So what are we seeing here? Hello?
And in this case, we probably... You got me?
Yeah, you cut out for a while, so can you repeat
Hello?
yourself? Now I could hear you.
Hello?
I could hear you.
Okay. Yeah, the radar is picking up whatever's reflecting energy that the radar has emitted. And a lot of times that's precipitation, but in this case, it might be clouds actually developing along that dry line. So as we're getting these cumulus clouds develop, we've got that condensed moisture inside those cumulus clouds. That is showing a return to the radar because this dry line is so sharp.
Dang. You know what, though? There is cloud cover developing along that. It's not particularly intense, though. It isn't, though, Ethan.
What is?
There's
can
no
we check
clouds.
that Oklahoma cell for a second?
Sure.
It kind of looks like it's got a hook on it, but that might just be
There's no hook on that. It's probably a false return. And if
Are
it's...
you looking at the FDR radar?
Yep, I'm looking at the Alta. I'm looking at Altus right now.
That's probably a false return. Yeah, because there's no green touching red there, so...
Boy, that is an intense supercell, though.
Yeah, although we did get a quarter-size hail report. Yeah. And that's going to be moving up into the Altus area here pretty soon, within the next several minutes.
Okay, I just got a weather station update. Oh, okay, this was a little while ago. Never mind. That dew point really coming up, and
Yeah,
I'm watching the observations closely now.
That's one for
Observations need to be monitored.
Yeah, I'm
for Meade County, and Pennington County has a weird wind marker. It says up to 50 miles per hour.
Yes,
And,
God,
1.25 inch hail, and that's an observed hail threat. It's probably over near west of Phillip, South Dakota.
All right. Also, I have 2 Davis weather stations that I'm monitoring for the dry line in Garden City, where dew points in Garden City are in the 20s right now. But just to the east, in Mansfield, dew points are right around... Actually, no, not... Okay. Just to the east of Pierceville, dew points are in the 60s.
Hey, Dave,
Keep an eye on the we'll have to keep an eye on the where the dry line is setting up at.
Dave, we have a
Which by the way, I wanted to make this kind of clear. We did get wind gusts earlier, Ethan, between 50 to 60 miles an hour in near Garden City from the south.
Aw, there's a baby severe thunderstorm warning out here in Kentucky.
Man, my eyes itch.
Just a little. Just a little warning.
Just a little warning, let's see. It's a fairly small warning.
It's moving at 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, wow, that is really moving slow. You there, Ethan?
And that could produce some really heavy rain, which could lead to some localized flooding, especially with all the rain that our area's received.
A lot of lightning on that storm in Kentucky. A lot of lightning.
There's one popping up in southern Indiana, too. We'll have to watch him and see if it becomes severe.
But in the short term, we're going to keep an eye on this dry line, right where that Meso discussion was released in Garden City. See what WAFs look like, because WAFs are going to be very important.
I know it's strong enough. It's showing up on the Dodge City Doppler radar.
Dang. It's an intense storm. So we're gonna get an update from the SPC here soon. So 0:30 right now is the current time we're in. Still want storms down here to fire up on that WAFS model. And here's that dry line.
It's going to be interesting, too, to see what they do with the convective outlook here at 1Z, which is coming up in about 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Ethan B is out.
I think his computer did what it likes to do.
Crapped out.
Yeah. Sorry, you guys. My eyes are itching bad today.
On the plus side, we've had no tornado warnings yet. On the negative side, this is just starting to ramp up.
I'd seriously watch the storm near Quinn, Nebraska. Ooh, okay.
Ooh, that storm near Norfolk. I'm gonna check and see before I say any. Alright. I'm not concerned about that then.
So, we are keeping an eye on severe weather. We're going to be focusing on radar for a while now. So, we do have a storm near Quinn that has a little bit of a supercell structure with it.
New severe thunderstorm warning in Oklahoma. I'm about to grab the report. All right, show warning. All right, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, quarter-size hail. It was located near Altus, moving northeast at 70 miles per hour. Quick moving with 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. A severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Jackson County and southwestern Oklahoma and central Kiowa County and southwestern Oklahoma until 8:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time.
We're going to have to really watch.
Yeah, I got my eyes on that one.
But a lot up here to the north is where the majority of the warnings are going
Yeah,
off at.
over the Rapid City radar is just a fiasco. Storms.
It's the
So far, there's been no tour possibles.
it's the Emily WX storms. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, this one's just warned for ping pong ball size hail over. That's one of our South Dakota warnings. That one down there, I did not check that one. In fact, I didn't even see it. That one's in Kansas. Wait, Nebraska. Sorry, Nebraska.
So we're
And
going to
that
keep.
has an observed hail for ping pong ball size hail.
Okay. Let me look at this storm right here. So, near Valentine in Nebraska, we have echotops there of about 50,000 feet. And that has high reflectivity, suggestive of large hail and a lot of lightning with that. So that's a good lightning. That's a mighty lightning producer storm. And then, of course,
Looks like this one in West Virginia has a 2 to 3 inch hail marker. It might not be accurate, but just take note of that.
so we're going to keep an eye on this for a while. How's everybody enjoying the stream? If you guys are enjoying it, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing.
Make sure to share the stream so other people can watch and like and subscribe.
We only have 19 people watching. That's the lowest it's been on my channel.
Darn. In a
Yeah.
while. Well, we'll get the action kicking up here soon.
We do have
Maybe
two
more
storms.
people start to catch on with the new name and everything.
Yeah. We do have live storm chasers. We have Alex and we have Cody out there.
Programmer.
Well, Cody in YouTube, but programmer on Discord. So, Cody programmer, whatever, it's can go two ways. He is on the 160 still. He is headed west right now, and he is going to try to get ahead and get some storms. Along to go with Alex. Let's see what Alex is up to.
I think they're on the same route, aren't they?
I don't know what
I
don't know
what he's doing.
Which, by the way, Alex, the camera, because it's focused mainly onto the phone mount, so the background image is looking a little more blurry. And that could be a problem when you get closer into the storm. or if a storm if you capture one. So keep that in mind. If you're able to pull over somewhere, make sure you fix that. But that looks pretty good otherwise. You're good. You're doing good. You're doing good, programmer LSPD. Your phone mount is looking really good. No issue at all.
What about his?
How's Kearney, Nebraska looking? So how's Kearney, Nebraska looking? Let's go to
That dry line is showing up on the Amarillo Doppler radar. That dry line's showing up there now.
I'll look at that in just a second. So Kearney, Nebraska right now is looking good, but there is going to be severe weather that does flare up rapidly tonight. That is going to be the concern. A rapid flare up in severe weather is anticipated. Right now, you are dealing with a lot of strong winds. Winds are gusting between 40 to 50 miles an hour, helping to advect that moisture northward, and dew points in this area are in the 60s. So it is definitely muggy outside. Not super muggy, but you get the idea. It's not dry. It's definitely warm and moist, and that's going to be the source of severe weather tonight. So yeah, Yatley, that's what it's looking. That's what radar is showing right now. Virtually nothing. Maybe some low-level cloud filaments is all you're seeing right now, with that capping inversion that is in place, but otherwise nothing substantial yet. We might be seeing a storm flare up ahead of that dry line or right on the dry line. Weather Republic near Hayes, Waukene, Ness City.
I'm reading right now a new severe thunderstorm warning issued by Wilmington. This is for Kentucky. This includes Grant County and northern Kentucky and northeastern Owen County and northern Kentucky until 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail.
Okay. Oh, yeah, there's a dry line. Golly, word, that's sharp. That is a really sharp dry line. That is a very sharp dry line.
Yep, the reflectivity was red. We can call it a derecho.
Almost, yeah. Except it's not moving very fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're starting to see something initiate soon. On some radar scans, it does have something there. So maybe the beginning of some early initiation is beginning to shape up near... It's not at the surface radar level, but it is getting there. And we do have weather stations out in this area to see if dew points have come up.
Also, in addition to that, the severe thunderstorm warning in Oklahoma is no more. It has been canceled.
Good. Yeah, that Oklahoma activity might be conditional for right now until... But it seems like that Kansas area is the area to really watch. On a lot of the WAFs want a lot of... Especially member 3 really is going crazy with development. Within the next couple of hours, by about 7 o'clock tonight, could get really nasty from western Oklahoma
Yep.
northward.
And Nebraska, especially north central Nebraska into central Kansas, you guys will be getting a severe thunderstorm watch here, and then you should have one by 9:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time.
Mm-hmm.
Which I probably won't be up for that. I'll probably be going here in 30 minutes or an hour.
Yep, you gotta get your beauty rest.
Tomorrow will be an interesting day.
We're about to witness a beautiful sunset on Programmer LSPD's stream here.
And Alec.
You know what? They are on the same road.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good view. Oh, you had it. You had the good view right there, Alex. There we go.
There we go.
Oh, you know. Oh, I see. They're in the same vehicle.
Yeah.
They're in the same vehicle. Look
Yeah,
at.
there's our little
Yes.
there's us on the
So
Apologize.
that is debunked. That is debunked. So they're not two separate vehicles. It's the same vehicle.
And just in case his gun dies or something.
Oh, okay.
I didn't understand him.
I did not even understand him at all either. It's fine though.
Yeah, it's fine.
So yeah, that's going to be a nice sunset here soon. Once the sun peaks out behind those low-level clouds.
Hey, I just wanted to let you know. It's not me. It's not me.
Ooh, nice. Who's with you right now?
Caleb's with them right now.
Caleb? Well, it's Alex and Programmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, using two phones. I'm sorry.
So that's looking towards the back of the truck, looking out to the back. And we're waiting to get the right storm.
Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
Getting into position. All from my two good viewers that love watching my content. That's great.
We are just passing Sand Creek just outside, I believe, Arbor, Kansas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Turn him off. We're just outside of Harper. The closer I get to the storm, the harder it is to control the truck.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I don't know if you can see that, Dan.
What is it?
Yeah, lowering. Yeah, looks like we're gonna have
That there,
gonna pop up.
there's no lowering right there. There's no lowering. It's just stratus right now. I don't see anything on radar.
Okay, it looked weird there for a second. Of course, I'm trying to drive, so it's a little hard to look. Yeah, it's nothing wondering, but it looks like it's going to storm up soon. Oh, it's flaring now. I can tell. My side, I can't look, Cody. Alright, I'm gonna mute back up.
Hey, Rebecca. Welcome to the stream. So what does it look like for me in Sioux City? So Sioux City, definitely severe weather is expected overnight tonight. Storm initiation is going to start to your west and southwest and then slowly progress towards Sioux City overnight. While you're under a slight risk for severe weather, you could see a tornado, large hail, and damaging winds will be the biggest threats with tonight's severe weather. But the good news for your area right now is that you have dew points in the 30s. So upper 30s, low 40 dew points. So the air is relatively dry there. Versus out towards the west, it's much more humid. You got dew points that are much higher. Towards like central Nebraska, western Nebraska. What's up? Oh yeah, nice. I'm glad you were able to catch me live for the first time. It's probably been a while, I'm assuming. But yeah, we're going to be watching convective trends closely. Because what I'm telling you all is once it gets going, it's going to explode, I believe. What they're even saying, rapid intensification with storms once they initiate. And I don't think Ethan is coming back. I don't know where he's at.
Not where he went either.
So we're going to have to keep an eye on convective trends. Other than just a couple of severe thunderstorms scattered about, we have a nice broken line of storms with an outflow channel. You can see that outflow channel racing southward towards Franklin, Emporia, Windsor, Virginia Beach. Kind of the shelf cloud part of this. And then here comes your heavy rain and a severe thunderstorm associated with that. And that's going to continue to move further south with time as it interacts with higher moisture, and there's still some forcing for ascent with that activity. And then we go off towards the west, where we do have a lonely storm that is over Pineville, Bud, Glen Fork. It's where we have a lonely supercell with echo tops that are over 30 to 40,000 feet at least, I should say. So some modest instability, bringing those storms to life. And then we got a storm over here near LaGrange, Dry Ridge, Williamstown, and into the Louisville area, where we got a couple of lonely, discrete storms. But in the meantime, this is where we are keeping an eye on the activity. Is in Nebraska, where we have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that do remain. for the next 14 minutes. We have another one. We have a couple here. For the next 44 minutes, so we have the majority of them also in Kentucky. And then we have actually 3 that will be allowed to expire here in the next, within the next 30 or so minutes. In the next 14 minutes, I should say.
Oh, this has been a very interesting setup for storms. I will say that. Not much is really going on.
No. Every time I want to go live, not much goes on until I literally end the stream and then it all breaks out.
Well, heck breaks loose.
That's kind of why I don't stream on severe weather anymore very much. It's just more unpredictable. Unless it's like a high risk event.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time till one of those happen.
Yeah.
Well, me and Ethan, well, I don't know much about Ethan, but I thought for sure April 2nd would have been a high risk, but the HRRR got us in more of an April Fool's Day joke, really.
Yeah.
What?
So, yeah, so if you're in Nebraska right now, we do have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. Norris, if you're in Parmalee in Nebraska, please take shelter. 1.5-inch hail, more of your typical severe thunderstorm warning type of criteria with wind gusts less than 50 miles an hour. But still, some modestly severe thunderstorms are anticipated with that. Man, we only have 9 people watching.
Make sure to start sharing.
This is the lowest I've ever had my concurrent viewers on a live stream. I can see why there really isn't a lot going on. There really isn't. It's all spread out. It's all spread out.
Most of it's happening out in Virginia. Ooh. I gotta check something. Our day 1 should be out.
Hey, Dave.
Yep.
What is it?
Do you think going towards medicine line? Or
The slight risk over in portions of Indiana and Kentucky is gone. That enhanced risk out west or out east there is gone too. So we're back to only one enhanced risk. I bet they've dropped the
didn't-
tornado probability.
Oh, they did update the... Did they actually update the day 1 they did?
Yeah.
Was that a special day 1 Outlook update? Maybe not.
The 01Z.
Yeah, so that enhanced risk was dropped over that area.
Was that 30% wind area over in Kansas and Nebraska there before? Because it looks new.
Yeah, that's been there.
Oh.
That's a little small area too.
Hey, really quick question.
What is it?
Hey, should we keep heading west?
What are you on right now?
160.
Okay, continue on 160. What town are you coming up to?
Awful, Kansas.
Let's see. Harper. Okay, you're coming up to Harper, so you're gonna make a left. You're gonna make a left. Okay, and you're gonna take the 160 just for a little bit. All right, and there should be a sign that says 160 with an arrow pointing to the right. Then you're gonna stay on the 160, and you're gonna go through Attica, Sharon, Pixley, then Medicine Lodge.
See how I came up here?
Let me see. So you're okay. It looks like you're heading south. That's good. Okay, I'll watch your stream here so that way. I'm gonna watch Programmer LSPD for a bit here. I'm helping him navigate to where he needs to go. So when it's time for some storms to initiate. So you're going south on 160. Perfect. So you have about 3 miles. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so 3. It's 1 mile block, square block. So you're a good driver.
It's, yeah,
Good job.
driving. I started driving at
Warning in Kentucky.
New tornado watch is out. New tornado watch is out for Dodge City.
No, new severe thunderstorm watch for Oh, is there?
Yes, it's for Dodge City for Medicine Lodge. For Medicine Lodge under a tornado watch.
Oh, nice.
And it's a moderate risk for strong tornadoes and a moderate risk for tornadoes less than EF2.
Moderate.
Everything's moderate. Okay. Your camera is out of focus a little bit.
Just to let y'all know, tornado watch has been issued.
Yup, and it's all moderate.
No.
It's all moderate. And I'm starting to see indications that convection.
Moderate.
I'm letting you know, Justin, we're going to have convection or initiation here within the next 30 minutes to an hour. And I'm letting you know I'm going to have to head off for dinner at like 7 o'clock, so someone's probably going to have to cover for me while I'm gone.
Well, I mean, just to let you know, I mean, I don't think anything's really gonna get going for another couple hours, but like, you do you.
Of course, when I'm about to go to bed, then by
Right.
Why does
Because it looks like from our time, it looks like it's gonna be about 11 to 1. So.
Jeez, it's basically an overnight threat now.
It's been an overnight threat, yeah.
Jeez.
Seems like every event we get, it's nocturnal.
Why is it every time I want to go live on severe weather, these events don't perform very well?
I mean, it really hasn't gotten going yet. I would say probably around 9 we'll get convective initiation, or 8.
Because WAFS is showing it much earlier. Which I know, again, I have to use that cautiously, but WAFS,
So
I mean, WAFS has
Justin's-
some initiation within the next 45 minutes.
That's possible. Once things get going, they're gonna get going quickly. I don't know. We'll see. Newest HRRR has a massive cell
I
north
know.
of Dodge City.
That's what I said. It's matching up with the WAFs, Justin. It's matching all up with
Well,
the
no, it
WAFs.
fires it at 10.
Let me see.
we're down to one warning in Nebraska. Also, Justin's gonna have to cover because I'm gonna have to.
Oh, I won't be covering, unfortunately. I'm also gonna have to head off.
Darn it.
Crap.
Yeah, see, storms are going to initiate. So let's see. This is 11, 10, 9, 8. At 8 o'clock my time. I may just have to call it a night then. Really. Because I can't stay up past like 9 o'clock because I have school in the morning.
Right. I mean, maybe something will get going. We'll see. It's possible. Again, if things get going, they're gonna get going really quickly.
Oh, it's already getting dark. Out by our
But
It
a
looks like
tornado
it's-
watch has been issued, which means they're confident at least. Let's see what
Let's see what they say in the watch. Thunderstorm development is expected this evening along a dry line. Blah 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 blah. A couple strong tornadoes possible. From 8:05 p.m. So I assume this is central. Yeah, 8:05 central to 3 a.m. central. So the main event probably is going to be around 10, I'd say. But convective initiation could happen earlier. It's up to you what you want to do.
There's one little cell that's developed in
But I'm
North
just
Central
saying is
Kansas.
once it gets going, it's gonna
Tiny,
get
but,
really, it's gonna blow up. It's gonna be like a bomb going off with storms.
Yeah, once things convect off the dry line, they're going to get going really quickly. Tornadic, I don't know, but they're definitely going to intensify really quickly.
Yeah. I'll tell you though, that dry line is very sharp still. I have a few weather stations near Garden City. Dew point 17 degrees on one of the stations versus just to the east, dew point is already in the 60s. Like 2 miles to the east.
There's also, it's not a very big cell. It might not even be a storm. It might just be the radar.
Yeah, there's
I'll
only
be back when things get going.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4. We only have 5 severe thunderstorm warnings. This is a ghostly of deadness. New watch out. Yes, logos and lifestyle. We're aware of the new watch.
Yeah, GPS bugs. Because some reason it's showing up on sale.
So I think a new cell has popped up over near Fishers, Indiana. It's probably
Just now.
radar though.
It's been all right. Hey, tell them we having difficulty with our GPS. Having a little technical difficulty with Cody's phone right now. It's being complete brag. Also, Dodge City, Kansas. and I am coming in way too hot. Holy hell! Let's try that. Coming into Anthony at 65 mile an hour almost. Oops.
You know what? I think storms are going to initiate really soon. You know where the eastern edge of the cloud cover is?
No,
Weather Republic, you there?
what? I'm here. Alex
Hey.
is here.
So, where the eastern edge of the cloud cover is, do you see that approaching the Kansas-Colorado state line?
I cannot do anything on. Okay, I'm coming up to a 4-way stop. Which way do I need?
Let me see. It looks like you're...
Oh,
Okay, let me see. Hold on there. Hold on a second. Let me see. Yeah, okay. So you're coming up to a 4-way stop. So does it say anything about 160 to the right? Yes, it does. Actually, can you move your camera really quick to see there?
Grand Island has a storm forming over in Kansas.
You should be fine going that way. Make sure it says...
Yeah, I'm holding up.
Make sure there's a sign that says 162 or 160.
Not. It says Kiowa and US 281. Right there. Kiowa, Kiowa, something like that.
You probably went down to Anthony.
Yeah, I did.
All right, so you're going west on 2. That should be fine because you're gonna go into Midway. That should be fine.
Okay, what? Just keep going then? Keep going?
Yes. Keep going on 2. If that's the way if you want to go down to Hazleton or Kiowa, right on the state line of Oklahoma and Kansas, you can do that. If not, once you get to Midway or near Midway, you can take Northwest 110 Avenue North, and that should take you to Attica.
Got the fire up. Right?
Yeah, you guys are watching my great, awesome viewer driving and seeing if once storms initiate.
Oh, it's looking dark all around me.
Alex Baller 75 says this is a big bust. Alex Baller 75, how so? Tell me, please. Why do you say this is a big bust when things have not started yet? Just tell me. I would like to know your thoughts. I mean, look at the SPC Meso discussion and look at their tornado watch. I could already see forcing is already beginning. The leading edge of this cloud cover right here. Right here is where all the forcing is taking place. So once that overspreads the dry line, we're going to start getting convective initiation soon. We're going to start getting storms initiate. Probably within the next hour or so.
Ooh. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and head off here.
All right. Thank
Since
you.
nothing's happening.
Yeah, I know. There's not a lot going on.
No problem.
Yep.
All right, weather out.
Thank you for tuning in.
You gonna stay with me, Dave?
Yeah, I'm going to be on for a while. I'm going to monitor
Okay.
the conditions. Because I have to be your navigator.
Yeah, no joke. And I got my air conditioning off, and it feels moist as heck coming out of my face.
Nice.
I'm just letting outside air into the cab of the truck, and it is moist. The closer I get to the jumping back in. Here comes Cody back in.
Oh, Programmer is here.
Hey, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Hello? Hey, can you hear me?
There we go. So we're watching live from Programmer LSPD. Seeing if we get storms. But Alex Baller in the chat, again, I've yet to hear your response back. Why do you think this could be a big bust? I want to hear your opinion.
Hey, back. I can hear it. You got water on your mouth, right? I don't. They didn't. Yeah, they're wonderful. Yeah.
All right, yep. Dry line is retreating. We already got dew points.
I can do both. I can take this now. Hold up 1 second. You know what I'm saying? Let me go over so I can hear you. Okay. There we go. I should be able to hear y'all. No? Maybe. Wow. What? Yeah. I cannot help. Just you standing in this now. Let me see your phone. Yeah.
Boy, there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of talking in your...
Oh, there it is. I can hear him now. I can hear him now, Cody. Yeah, look at that cloud. Yeah, I can talk.
So, when we take a look... Sorry, I had to mute you for a little bit. New Meso 449 is out. Okay, so let's take a look at the latest Meso discussion. There's another one that is out. 449. So, renewed thunderstorm development, including a few supercells possible through 9 to 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Let's see. Initial thunderstorm development probably will weaken while spreading toward northwestern, north, central, South Dakota with renewed thunderstorm development, including potential for a few supercells north of North Platte toward the Mullen vicinity through 9 to 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Discussion. Beneath a focused area of divergent upper flow downstream of the mid-level low migrating northeast of the Four Corners, thunderstorms have become numerous within a corridor of low mid-tropospheric warm advection. This appears to be gradually spreading to the north of the corridor of better boundary layer moisture, wrapping toward an initial surface low center over the Nebraska Panhandle. As this continues, the initial thunderstorm activity seems likely to weaken as it ingests drier and more stable air. However, The environment remains favorable for renewed strong to severe thunderstorm development, including supercells within a corridor northeast of North Platte toward Mullen, Nebraska, which will tend to move northeastward through the late evening. So again, that's where the storms basically are right now, but a renewed area of thunderstorm development looks likely by 9 to 10 o'clock tonight, Central Daylight Time. So that would be about 7 to 8 o'clock my time. So we're not quite done with these thunderstorms yet. We're not even done. And we have one thunderstorm that we're watching closely right now in Bullardsville in Kentucky, where we do have a storm report there of a tree down. Pond Village, Todd's Point, Chestnut Grove, Smithfield, where we do have a strong thunderstorm there. And we are seeing storms pop off along that boundary. We even see a little bit of an outflow here in Jeffersontown, Shelbyville, on the I-64 corridor, Clarksville, Sellersburg, Charlestown, where we do have that outflow, part of that storm that did fire. And we could still see storms firing along that still over the next hour or two. Once,
Hey, Dave,
yes.
to look off of my screen, we have a really so it's really not.
Let me see. Yeah, what is it? Yeah, I lost signal from you. So we're going to keep an eye on the pattern here. Aspermont, we do have a little bit of thunderstorm activity that recently has popped up in that area. Severe or tornado watch expires in 46 minutes though. But it's really going to be to the north, the Dodge City area, where we really have to watch how this all will progress. And we're keeping an eye on live observations. Dew point has been steadily increasing on the Green Acres, Kansas, and Ingalls, Kansas station, which indicates that that dry line is retreating. What's up, Mark Chama? How are you doing? Welcome. We will get a new update here from the weather station. See if that dew point has come up. If it has, you know that dry line has retreated a lot more. Should get a new update here really soon. Again, that's right in here, right where that dry line is. And it just updated. Look at that dew point. Literally, it jumped way up from 24 degrees to now 50 degrees. 50 degrees. That really came up. So that really explains yeah, even on here, this dew point really came up as well. So that dry line, yeah, see there? You can see the uptrend in the temperature and or the the uptrend in the dew point, that indicates that the dry line has retracted. It has retracted. Or retreated. And that is seen very well here. But thunderstorms are going to initiate really soon. You could even see it right here. You watch, storms are going to fire. And actually, we might be seeing something pop up down here soon. Right down in here. It's actually what the WAFS are showing. Yeah, it's on par. If that's what we're starting to see, a new run is coming out. You might be seeing this portion lighting up soon down here near Liberal, Plains, Meade. That'll be the area to watch. We hit 75 likes. Thank you, Logos. Yep, we have hit 75 likes. My chat is so dead. We only have 8 people watching. If you guys haven't shared this with your family and friends on social media, please consider doing so. Because I'm telling you, once that severe weather gets going, we got storm chasers. We got a storm chaser out there right now. And he is out there on his way. It's just atmosphere is not quite ready yet. Actually, we might be seeing something develop here. Kismet, we'll see. Near Plains, Kismet, Plains, Kansas. We might be seeing some agitated development going on. There's your dry line. Very well easily seen right here. I mean, you can't miss where that dry line is. Very evident. Very, very evident. You can just see it. And I think where this bulginess already is, where we might get something, I think where we're going to get a lot of convection. Once that forcing gets going, once that strong upper level ascent overspreads, Something's gonna get triggered down here, though. Something's gonna go off right down here in the Kismet Plains area. I can just have a sense of it. I could have a sense of it right now. We're down to 3 severe thunderstorm warnings right now. We're literally down to 3 severe thunderstorm warnings at the moment. But I think, again, we're going to have a lot more activity soon. I do agree. I do agree. Is severe weather through the night possible in central Oklahoma? So, severe weather is definitely a slight possibility. Let's take a look at the high-res models. So, there is some minor threat here especially. Actually, here's a 0Z run. So, there is a minor threat, I would say, on the HRRR, but the HRRR hasn't done very good as far as predictability today, so it's hard to say. Let's look at the NAM, though. The NAM would probably give us a better insight. Because this is the 18Z run. This particular model tonight shows something similar. Maybe a pop-up storm or two. Especially like right here. By about midnight. Right around midnight, maybe 1 in the morning. For the Oklahoma area. I'm here, programmer LSPD. But further north is where I think we'll have the best chances. But convection right now is a little more uncertain. Depends on what model you actually look at. At the WAFS, of course, it shows that area in Kansas seems to be consistent. Welcome back. So, seems to be a consensus here on the WAFs that storms initiate.
Dave.
Right.
Hey, Dave.
What?
We don't see no clouds anymore. Like no clouds. It's straight up. We got clouds around.
I see that.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't see any clouds anymore. Yeah, that's good. Are you trying to pass? Oh my gosh.
Yep. This is doing 45 and it's 65.
Oh my god. My viewer over here driving aggressively.
No, just only driving.
Oh,
I just thought, I never even went over the speed limit. This was doing 45 and 65.
oh, the speed limit there is 65, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So he was doing way under the speed limit. So he just went around me with the speed limit.
Okay, good. I wanted to make sure you're safe. I don't want you getting hurt out there. All right, so okay, I'm gonna turn your volume.
Hey, we ought to hate them.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have initiation down here. I have a bad feeling about this. Right down here, Mead, Ashland area, I could just have a weird sense, a dark presence that something's gonna form right here. Something's gonna form. And once it gets going, it's gonna be very intense. Because we're already seeing indications of that. With very augmented cloud cover. Something's going to form right here. Got your forcing that's in here. That's going to get injected over this warm, moist sector. So you have, to make it more clear, here's your warm, moist sector. Here is your forcing. Here is your... Oops. Here is the forcing mechanism, the leading edge of that. Oops. Man, I don't know how to draw today, do I? So here is the strongest forcing right in here. And this is moving out this direction. And as you get your dry line, your warm, moist advection regime, as this dry line backs up and retreats, I bet you we're going to get initiation somewhere right in here. Want to make a bet? Right in there. Remember that, too. Well, remember what I just said. Right in here. Let's see if it actually happens. First down here is where I think we're going to have a couple of initiating storms. They're going to go out this way. And once they do, we'll get you the latest. And that covers this area really well. They might need to extend that tornado watch over one more county, though. Cover this county or something. Yeah, it's gonna pick up. It's gonna pick up really soon. In the meantime, we do have one severe thunderstorm warning continuing into Wood in Nebraska, Carter, Nebraska right now. Please take shelter. There's a lot of lightning with this one, and we also have really large hail, 2 inches in diameter. I'm gonna turn down the volume here. So 2-inch hail on that storm. Right now, St. Francis, Rosebud. Sorry, my eye right here is itching very bad today. Hopefully I'm not getting pink eye. I don't think I am. Allergies are going to be a problem, though. So 1.5-inch hail on that storm right now on the western type supercell. Those storms are weakening with northward extent, so those storms are not going to be nothing to really worry about. As they are moving into a more stable atmosphere. You got dew points to the north here that are in the 40s. So the air is going to be drier to begin with. Storms are kind of weakening off of that warm front. But it's down here to the south where we are going to have to watch for storm initiation. I could hear you. I just have you turned way down because of background noise. Let me see. Okay, where are you? Which town are you coming up to? Oh my goodness, let me see. Medicine, okay. Kiowa. Oh, you're coming up to Kiowa, nice. So when you get to Kiowa, I'm sure there's a traffic light when you come to Main Street. I would make a left on Main Street, and that will take you on to the 2. That'll keep you on Highway 2. So look for, when you get to Kiowa, you're going to be going... I don't know if there's a traffic light at every block, but I will watch your stream, so that way you don't get lost.
Sorry if my lens is a little dirty. I do apologize about that.
Okay, I see a traffic light up there. Yeah, you're in Kiowa, it looks like. You're just coming in.
Yeah, I'm looking on the radar on my side. I do not see anything. Okay, looks like there's a 4-way stop here. They must have put the light out. It's a 4-way stop.
Okay, so it must be not a... Is there a sign that says number 2 with an arrow? Let me see. You gotta slow down first. Okay, yes, you're gonna turn to the right. It's gonna be a right turn. Okay, and you're gonna stay on 2 for a while, okay? And you're gonna bear right way up there. You're gonna have a bear right and then a bear left. Okay, it's kind of like a little S curve kind of thing. On 2, so you have a ways. Okay, and then you're gonna just stay on 2 until you get to the 281. Okay. What is it?
At 40 mile an hour. We almost hit a median. Yeah, I'm glad I got a good driving record on that one.
Oh my gosh.
Holy cow. Ooh. That would have screwed my truck. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Just 281. 281.
That would have not been good.
No, that would have screwed my truck. What would have been? I'd have probably cradled the front end. Well, no, it would have just hurt going up. I think all. So it's tough.
All right, so see, you just passed a sign that had like a veer to the right, then left. You're gonna stay on this road, and it's coming up right now. So you're just gonna stay on this road. I know exactly where you're at right now. I know exactly where you're at. You're perfect. You're driving right here right now.
Now veer left, right?
And then it veers to the left, correct.
Okay. Well, I can't see nothing because it's dark. I don't even see lightning or nothing right this moment. Yeah, I can see perfectly, but for right now, we don't see snowstorms at all. But no clouds at all, too.
But there's something initiating though near Kismet, which is pretty far still. You're really far from Kismet right now. So you're probably gonna want to go on the 281. Once you get to another intersection, you're gonna go on this for a while though, on 2. When you get to the 281, make a right, and then you'll go up to Medicine Lodge. And once you get up to Medicine Lodge, you're going to want to make a... Well, that's too much instruction for you right now. One little thing at a time.
Got it. 281. Got it.
Yeah, right on... I'll actually put the directions in the chat so you know. Actually, you know what? Actually, no, you wouldn't be able to check on your phone because you're driving, but I was going to make a little Google directions and send you the link to it so you're able to pop it up, but it wouldn't work. So turn right.
So we're not looking because my phone is showing up in Oklahoma. GPS go whack.
To Medicine. To...
Yeah, we are really trying to stay on the, we are really trying to keep on the speed. The wind is pushing it everywhere. Yeah, I'm literally fighting it right now. And I'm in a very, very high sped truck. Well, it's stock high, but still up there. Now for that pictures I sent you of that truck. That's it. Slow down a bit. My headlight.
Hopefully that's not confusing. I just put the directions in the chat.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not too much farther from where I need to be.
I think we're getting storms initiating. I think we have a storm initiation going. Oh, yeah. I need to let Justin G know.
Where's it initiate? Where's it starting up at? I think it's 281. I'm not sure. We have a stop sign with barriers up front. No, it ain't barriers, Cody. Huh? No, it's not. Never mind. It looks like it. Yeah, it's 281 highway. 281. Well,
Yeah, I put the instructions on the thing, okay? Once you get to the 281, make a right.
okay. That I can do. Yep. No cop, no stop. I will stop next time.
Good job. You did it. So you're going to be on... So now you're on the 281, and you're going to be on that for a while, because you need to go to Medicine Lodge. Not necessarily in Medicine Lodge, because the intersection, the T intersection, is not in Medicine Lodge. But you're going to have to either turn left or right when you get to the stop sign. Once you get to that, you're going to want to make a left on the 160.
Okay.
Left. L-E-F-T. Left. Yeah, we might be seeing storms initiate already. We're starting to see something deepen.
And let them know, do not try this at home because this is really dangerous. It is very dangerous.
Yes.
I'm trying to plug in my phone right now. I didn't know if you heard me earlier about how long I've been driving.
Oh, you've been driving for a while, at least. I've been live for almost 3 hours. That's a long time.
I mean, over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've been driving since I was 13, and I'm now 24 almost. Actually, I think I am 20. I don't remember.
Oh, you're 20. Oh, wait, you're 24, right?
know?
Congratulations. Happy 24 years.
Yeah, I started driving on a stack of books in this truck that I'm actually driving.
Nice.
Yep, driving my childhood truck, and I own it. So nice.
Oh my gosh.
I think okay. But yeah, the closer we get to this stuff, way more harder to get control.
I'll be right back. Just stay in this call. Just stay in this call.
Oh yeah.
I'll be right back. Hey, Weather Republic, we have storms initiating in Kismet in Kansas. I want you to be aware of that.
Alright.
Yeah, we have storms initiating. We're about to see a rapid initiation spree coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'm back.
You do not want to know what reason we just had to get out of this truck.
Right here, we're going to see something. Something's going to blow its fuse.
In Medicine Lodge or
Maybe not, though. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's going to be somewhere along this dry line. Certainly trying. It's going to be soon. It's going to be soon.
where at?
Right now, there's some attempt at convection in Kismet Plains in Kansas. You are really... you are very far east. You're not even close to these storms.
I need to be in Dodge City, probably.
Let me take a look at how far you are from this.
I was going to say, if nothing else, see where something is popping up. Here, closer to me.
So you are approximately 117 miles away from Kismet right now. From Meade, you're about 97 miles from Meade.
Yeah. I do end up needing to get home here shortly because I got an orientation deal in the morning and I don't want to be out past like 11.
Yeah, you.
That's all that matters. If they're not, they lay at home. Get the smash across right now. I mean, I'll go until I can, but
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
you know if Medicine Lodge will see anything or
That says here storms are going to initiate. Wants that storm in Oklahoma to pop off, which is not correct given our satellite images. It is close. Storms are going to pop right along this dry line soon, though. Storms are just going to... It's over Garden City right now. It's actually west of Garden City. It's engulfing Garden City. Dew points have already recovered in the 50s, and winds have turned southeasterly in Garden City versus the southwest earlier.
how far away are we from Garden City then?
You're Well, let's see. Once you get to near Medicine Lodge, you are... Oh my goodness. Garden City. You are really far. You're 133 miles from Garden City.
Yeah.
Everything
I
is
wish something would fire up.
everything is too far in Kansas.
Yeah, no kidding.
There is that storm in Kismet though is definitely showing signs.
Yeah, I just wish I was closer.
We'll see though. If storms don't initiate by 7:30, I'm gonna call it a night. So that's another 25 minutes for me. In fact, I will probably call it a night now just because there's not a lot of action going on. If storms decide to initiate, I'll probably go live, do an emergency live stream, but right now it's just there's nothing going on. There's really nothing to monitor at the moment. I'm just sitting here looking at radar in front of a blank screen. So anyways, I'll probably be back later when storms decide to initiate, or if they do at all. If that happens before 9 o'clock tonight, I'll be on. If they happen after 9 o'clock, I guess we'll try again tomorrow afternoon. That is going to do it. I'll be back later, you guys, with hopefully a severe weather live stream if storms decide to do something. This area near Plains, though, I'll be monitoring.